All right. Hello and welcome to Temtalk, a podcast about the creature collection MMO Temtem. I'm your host this week, Presby Kennedy, joined as always by the wonderful, the spectacular, the only one in the world, Gaijin Butt. It's Gaijin Butt. No, I'm kidding. It's Gaijin Boo.
And 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 my wonderful co-host Kisa,
Oh, yes, the kitty cat.
the
How are you
fluffy
doing this week,
junk.
Gaijin?
Oh, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I can't really complain. My week went about as expected. I played some Temtem. I played some Sea of Thieves. I didn't find a single Luma. No surprise. Busted
I
radars. Busted lock. Busted side park. Scam park. I say it every week. I'm not going back. And then I go back. They've got me trained.
I was told to pass on a message from you and that you would know what it means. Thank you for the cat pictures. They came at just the right moment.
Oh, well,
I
I'm glad
was
they came at just the right moment.
yeah, I was told to give that message to you, and I forgot to give it to you earlier.
That's
Uh,
perfect.
that is, yeah, that's a really pleasant week. For me, I didn't have a super heavy.
That's a
Temtem
pleasant week. No Luma Volfi, no Luma Osuchi, 4 times odds, hunting all week. No roller from the radar, no
Oh, I didn't
blues
know
from
you
the
were.
radar.
I didn't know you said you were hunting all week. I thought you said you just tried and didn't get it.
Oh no, I was there all week. I keep
Oh,
saying
okay,
I'm
well,
never gonna
that's
go back, and then I go back.
yeah, that's Gaijin. I'm never gonna go back is Gaijin for I'm gonna go back next week, but I'm grumpy about it.
That's right. I say this as I'm in Side Park right now.
I've learned to speak your language.
I figured I gotta try and get a Luma Lawali with good stats and hypoxia so that I can name it Rorzy.
Yeah, or
So
just pay for one from Rorzy. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has two because I know he has.
it's not the same. It's not the
Fair,
same.
fair. It is not the same. OT Loali named Rorzy would be fantastic. Uh,
Let's hear about yours. Let's hear about your week.
For me, I didn't have a big week. As you know, I've been going super ham on the radars the past couple of weeks. Like I
Hey, wait,
have been.
as I know, I have never heard you talk about it other than when we talk on about it
Wait.
on Temtalk. Like that's the only time you mention it.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, the last 3 weeks I've had like I've had like sit. Oh, no. Okay, let me think. I think I've had five. Um, I think I've had 5% radars in like the last 3 weeks of Tim Talk. Because I had the roller radar, I had the a 2Y radar, I had a second 2Y radar, and I had two Shuin radars. And my second Shuin
Shwing.
radar was the only radar that gave me a Temtem. But those they take a lot out of me, and I was doing like as many radars as I could for a little bit.
Yeah,
And
the
so
5% radars take so long, and I know Sleepy Blank laughs so hard every time I say it, but they take too long. The 5% radars need to be as fast as other radars, just harder to get. Like, just make them rare. Making them longer just, I mean, I guess
yeah,
making them longer makes it so less people probably want to do it, but that's also not a good reason for people not to complete it. Just because it is a nightmare to do, it shouldn't be a good reason for people not to do it. If you get a 5% radar, great, you got lucky because they're hard to get. If you got a 5% radar because they're easier to get, but you didn't get a Luma because you just quit 100 encounters in because you've already spent 10 hours, you know.
yeah. And so for me, I just kind of took a chill week in Temtem. Just logging on whenever I had like something to do, and I ended up competing in the Plus OP monthly tournament. I was going to compete in the weekly tournament this week. Like I was thinking about it. I was like, I'm gonna put together something silly and go ham in it. And then I remembered it was the monthly, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch. And then Plus OP sent out the call for like more people to enter into it since a couple of the people who got the invites dropped. and I had the opportunity to get my face wrecked in by Nagai's,
Mm-hmm.
which was fun. So we can
You
talk about
had a
that.
really bad matchup.
Yeah, we can talk about that when we get to the tournament section of the show.
Yeah.
For now, let's hit up the weekly reset.
Alrighty. Hold
Tim
on, let
Team
me switch it
actually.
here. Hold on, I'm switching.
Okay.
We're switched.
Uh, well, I was gonna say for all the people watching, normally we pull these up on Twitter from the Play Temtem France account. Um, but Tim.team actually added a weekly section to their website like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So I went looking for the tweet earlier and I was like, wait a second, let me just use my big brain and just go to tim.team/weekly. So thank you, team for getting this uploaded for the community so that we have an easy place to go to.
Absolutely.
I
This
will.
is really nicely laid out. I like it a lot. And you just have this pinned and it'll update every week.
Oh snap! You're right. I don't have to put a new
Just
link into the weekly
just
document every
pin
week.
it and it just stays every week. It's amazing.
Temtalk evolving.
In chat, Pat Farm says, guys, stop overreacting. 5% radars only take 12 hours. Yup.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's longer than 12 hours.
Yeah, it is definitely longer than 12 hours because I tackle half of them while I'm at work, and then I still need to normally put in a couple hours on Saturday to finish them up.
Yeah.
I think they're down to like 30 hours. I or no, I think
No,
they're
no,
down to
no.
like 14 hours straight.
Yeah, like if you don't stop, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this week, thank you, Pat Farm. This week, what do you think? What do you think, Kennedy?
I'll tackle the side part here. No, I'll let you tackle the side part because you have your feelings about it. I'll tackle Free Tim. I'll stick to the lane I know I'm good at. I was actually looking for something different to do this week. As I look to get back into competitive, it's always fun to just buy and train Tims, and one of the easiest ways to do that is just free Tim money for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at the free Tim this week, and I was like, not bad. For 40 releases, we get 12 lemon candy. Mwah. For 125 releases, we get 2 incubator tickets. Some people really love those. I don't breed enough, unfortunately. For 200 releases, that's incredibly cheap. We get 1 telomere hack for attack, which is mwah. I need that for my Mushuk currently, who I think has like 48 attack. And then for 440 releases, we get 8 Wishy Well coins, which is also mwah. It's just mwah. This free Tim week is just like a kiss on the forehead from Krima, and just kind of like we're sorry about the last 2 weeks.
I like how you say I have opinions, but really my opinions every week are about Freetown. Freetown.
You have opinion.
I don't even care about Side Park that often. It's either good or it's bad. But usually Freetown is the like the hold up, the I don't know, maybe. And this week's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
I
It's
I
a
don't
good
I don't
Freetown
even
week.
know if I have critiques about this week. I
No,
mean,
do it. If you do Freetown, do it. I mean, it's a good week. The
maybe
Wishy
give
Well
us like
coins are
20
good.
more candies for 40 releases. Maybe no, I'm kidding. And we get a Winkoish from the lodge. I consistently state Winkoish is a not good Tim when you have Tukai and Whiplump. I guess it's a physical attacking Wind Water Tim, but Tukai and Whiplump occupy that role so well of Wind Water
Yeah.
Tims. So
Oh yeah.
and so do you want to tackle Cypark?
Well, yeah, you cackled everything else. This week in Sci Park, we're looking at 2,400 Pansuns for 25 Psy cards. Roughly just under 100 Pansuns per card. I guess it's alright. But you're looking at a minimum of 28 SVs on both Swally and Kaku. And 10% egg technique. I think it's probably pretty good. Both of these are super good for competitive. Saku and Swally, or Lawali once it evolves, are very usable. They're very good, and if you are looking to get a competitive Tem, maybe find a Lawali with Hypoxia or Kaku with, what is it, Lightful Sap, is it? Or
yeah. Lightful Sap and Bark Shield are its 2 egg moves.
Then
but Lightful Sap's the only one you really need.
Yeah. So I think it's a good week for people looking for that kind of stuff there. But all in all, it's a decent SV week, because the 28 is nice.
I have so much respect for people who go in Luma Hunt at 1 times odds now, especially since it's 1 in 10,000. Because I could really see myself, if we were still at like 1 in 6,000, going into Side Park for this for Loalis. Or not Loalis, for Swallies.
Yeah.
For a Hypoxia like Luma, and just going super ham on it this week. But 1 in 10,000, that's a one.
So like,
see, I need a Hypoxia Loali. I have a not perfect one that Plus gave me, that Rarzi gave Plus. But when I think about sitting down and breeding one with Hypoxia to perfect, I'm just like, why don't I just buy it from Rarzi? And then I never end up buying it from Rarzi because I don't have Loali on any teams.
We don't call him King Loalzi for nothing.
Can't Loalzi.
King Loalzi.
Oh, King Loalzi.
King Loalzi.
I like it.
Yeah.
Rarzi, I say this every single week. If you walk up and trade me like
He'll pay you.
Swally with Hypoxia, I will buy it on the spot. I never coordinate with you. I'll log in to Temtem and I'll let you know where I'm at. I want this Tim, but it's not at the top of my priorities to breed it now, and I just haven't sat down and gotten with you to get one. Because it's like this week, it's like, oh man, I can go get a Hypoxia Swally, and then I can get a breeding project going for one. And Lily is a great Tim to add to my roster. But also, I don't want to spend like an hour and a half in Side Park trying to get a Hypoxia Swally with a perfect one or 2 perfect stats.
Now. Okay, this map on the free Tem, the Tem team weekly was confusing me. I'm like, what the heck are these red lines? Like, the Tems aren't in the caves this week. What are these? And then it's just connecting them, showing you where they lead to. I get it now.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, pretty good week. You can either get your magenta beauty fly or your pink.
Whoa. Let's not lie to the people. Okay. You have a very unlikely
tiny chance
to get either of those Lumas. 1 in 10k. NBD. No big deal, right? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's a nightmare. But if you get it, it's going to have amazing stats and probably be super hackable. And there's nothing better than a perfect Luma with egg moves. So, if you are into pain and disappointment, go for it. Anyway, let's move on.
Suffering.
Are we going to talk about the language thing?
Yeah. Just a little minor note for anybody not on Twitter who's still interested in the game. Earlier last week, we took a break, but the official Temtem account tweeted out that they will be launching new content in English first and getting it
That's not what it says. That's not what it says at all. It says launching new content in English first and getting it translated in later patches. I don't know them anymore. With the no emoji. Sipanku will come out fully translated into all our supported languages. More Sipanku spoilers coming soon.
I skimmed this tweet. I skimmed the start of it, and I was like, that's pretty expected. Okay.
Let me add this tweet to the document, but not even bother to read it.
You know what? Sometimes my brain only has 4 brain cells, and 2 of them are working hard on other things. And one of them's multitasking, and one of them's devoted to the task I'm on. So, yeah, I definitely skimmed this tweet, and I was just like, "Oh, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You can't. That's awesome."
Yeah.
So Sipanku's coming out fully translated, and I was just thinking this. I was like, there's a huge North American base that plays this game, but
But
there's
there's a
so many
lot
people
of
like,
other people outside of the U.S., a lot of native English speakers
yeah.
that, they'd prefer to play it in their own language, which, makes a lot of sense. So it's super cool to see that everybody can get the same experience that they want at the same time. I like it.
People in chat selling me reading lessons. Let's go, Maluna. I'll pay for them. Yeah, and I think well, that kind of changes what I was thinking on this. I think this tweet kind of speaks for itself. Really cool that we get there. Hopefully, we start getting some accessibility features too, launching side by side with the patches. Like when they have mini games and stuff, that they don't have to come back in behind and do all the accessibility stuff. I
Mm.
I started playing League of Legends a lot the week before last, and the thing that I always forget about the game that makes it so incredibly pleasant is like
Wait.
they
Okay, sorry. Just League of Legends and Pleasant don't normally go together, but
oh yeah. I in UI, not in gameplay. Kids say mean things about me all the time in the game.
I get bullied so hard by a bunch of 12-year-olds.
Yeah, but their accessibility features, like they kind of go over and beyond, and that majority of the community prefers to play with like colorblind mode or the quick cast or the things like that that just make the game more pleasant. So
Yeah, kind of like one of the cool things, like in Sea of Thieves, they have an accessibility feature for people who have fear of water. So it makes you
wait,
float.
really? What's it do? Just turn off the water, or you just
No,
always
you
float?
always float to the top. Like if you drop into the water, it
That's so
automatically
cool.
floats you up. Like it
Wow.
is really cool. Like all the accessibility features that games have. So I hope that
Okay, I need an accessibility feature for the fear of not getting a Luma.
Oh, no,
Like,
get out of here.
I need.
Get out of here. And
Isn't that
no,
cheating?
Maluna. Floating to the top when you're in water is not really cheating, because it's not like it like rockets you up to the top or puts you back on the boat. Fear of missing out
FOMO.
feature. Yo. Now we're talking.
If only. All right, let's hit up the next bit of news. We don't have like any tweet or anything for this,
I
but
have
you were
a
actually
I have a screenshot of it.
yeah. Go ahead and pull it up. So for this week, Gaijin messaged me last night, and it was one of the most head tilting things that I have had the the pleasure of being a part of in our community. Soldier Boy was streaming, famous American rap artist was streaming
The actual
Temtem.
Soldier Boy.
Yeah, the real Soldier Boy was streaming Temtem last night.
He's
To
got
like
the
400 people.
the partner or verified badge or whatever it is. It's the real Soldier Boy, and he was streaming Temtem. It was super cool. It was last night or early this morning. I think it was like 1 a.m. or 12, something like that. And it was wild to see. It was cool. There was like 400 people in there hanging out, watching. It was like a 40-minute stream or something like that. But it was
Yeah, he
it was
played through
cool.
like the starting city and just got like halfway through the first route, at least from like what I was watching.
Yeah. He did not
And
get very far. He was having a bit of a hard time. But
game's hard.
Temtem's not easy.
Money
So
in the
it
bank,
was
Temtem
it
ain't
was
easy.
really cool to see. Of
I'm
course,
surprised people
the
didn't go like flood him and give him, a bunch of free Tims and stuff.
well, I think people were trying to. I think people were sending him friend requests and stuff like that. Just he was, ignoring all the notifications in game, and he was kind of interacting with chat a little bit, but I think he was really focusing on the game. But yeah, it was really wild, and I told the mod, like when he ended stream, the mod was like, we'll probably be back. He's really enjoying the game, so there'll probably be another session in the future. And I shot him a message, in the chat at the end of the stream. I was like, hey, if he wants some free perfects, just have him let us know. The community will hook him up. Unless he wants hard mode, then it's all up to him.
Back when WoW was kind of a fresh face MMO getting started, do you remember those celebrity advertisements they used to do with it, with like Mr. T and's like, "My name's Mr. T, and I'm a night elf mohawk. What's your game?" Well,
Yep.
if Temtem had advertisements for celebrities like claiming Temtem, who would you want to see and what Temtem do you think they would use?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know.
Because like the first couple that come to me, people in my Discord were talking the other day about Avril Lavigne's "Girlfriend" song, and how like in hindsight, just watching the video, it's like the song's good. Avril Lavigne as a person's cool, but the music video and the story is kind of sociopathic.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think like, "Hi, I'm Avril Lavigne, and I play Temtem, and my main Temtem is Sparzy. Let's get wild." Just go crazy or something.
One of the viewers in chat says, "To be honest, I'd rather just let streamers figure it out. If they're using perfects, it's not really representative of the real game and could give viewers the wrong impression." Offhand, I don't expect Soulja Boy is going to be in here streaming every day, streaming Temtem every day. So I don't think that really matters, and it is indicative of the game. People give out free perfects to new people all the time. It's not out of the ordinary. It happens a lot. New people get gifted stuff all the time. I've seen a number of people just hanging out in the first island, just trying to trade new people to give them good stat Tems.
Literally every time I finish a breeding project, I go and just give all my rejects.
So I would say it is indicative of the game and the online multiplayer features. Now, if we're talking about waltzing through the game with perfects, sure, it might make it slightly easier, but it still requires a lot of skill. Somebody having all perfects doesn't mean they're going to go and trounce a dojo, because they're still not TV trained, and you still have to know actual type coverages and things like that. Like, even
and you still have to level them.
Even I had a little bit of a hard time with some of the dojos, but yeah, you have to level them. They're probably level 1. Like, I don't know.
I remember on my alt, I gave my alt like all 5 SV like rejects to play through the game with. So they're not perfect, but they might as well be perfect for the storyline.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it still wasn't like a walk in the park. Like, it was significantly easier than my first time.
Mm-hmm.
But where I would expect I could be able to blow through the game in like 6 or so hours or so, it actually took me a couple days to play through, because I just had to go back and heal so much. Because even with my perfects and my perfectly curated team,
it's still hard.
Routes are rough.
It's not a walk in the park. Like,
yeah.
Sure, if you start off with 6 Temtems that are near perfect or perfect, like, you'll have an easier time beating some of them, but you still have to level. Like, if you can't just walk through the story with just 2 Temtem. So, I don't know. But I mean, I do get what you're saying, but I feel like it is indicative of the gameplay, because odds are you might get traded something. But sure, I see your point too. But then again, like, how many people are like watching brand new playthroughs all the time? Like, most of the time, like in Temtem, when you're watching it, like when you go and look at the Temtem channel, most people aren't watching the brand new streams. Sometimes, a big streamer will come and stream it, and generally they don't accept, gifts or whatever anyways. But
now, something that I do think's a little bit important for this conversation, people in my Discord were, jokingly asking for us to bring on Soldier Boy. And I was like, what would I even ask him? What was your first 45 minutes in the game like? And I do think that that's important for an MMO, of just like how well the starting area can hook you.
Yeah.
And that struggle. And I think Temtem's got a really good start compared to the rest of the genre. Like, it kicks you on your butt and tells you this game's not like everything else, but it also is really nice, and it gives you
as soon as you walk out the door with your first Temtem, they immediately show you what the game is like. They don't waste a single second letting you know what your entire experience is going to be like as soon as you walk out that door.
But I just remember, like, get the double starter for me of getting, my starter Temtem and then getting 2Y and then being told 2Y is basically the Eevee of the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to think of that as like a Pokemon game of just like starter and an Eevee, and just like, God, that's so nice. That's so nice. And I really enjoyed that experience. So it's like that first 45 minutes, I guess. I think Temtem's got a really good start to it, even though if it's like ridiculously difficult.
Yeah, I don't think he made it past the Tataru patch.
Yeah, I saw him. He kept going back to the first Temporium to heal when I was watching.
Yeah, he was having a bit of a rough go of it, but it was just cool to see. That being said, we can move on to the next topic, which is what did you want to talk about?
Monthly.
The monthly. Oh, I didn't open that up one for some reason. There we go.
Did you watch all of the monthly?
No. I mean,
that's unfortunate.
So I had it open, but like when I'm like he does all of the tournaments while I'm working.
Fair.
So like it's rough for me to watch them all because they go so late, and it's happening while I'm working, and it's hard for me to listen to people talk and read at the same time. So I did watch the parts I casted, Rosie. I saw a lot going on. I was casting it with plus OP, so I have a rough idea. You
casted the
monthly?
Yeah,
I did. I cast with plus OP all the time. I'm
okay.
also known as Rosie. People often call me Rosie, but usually.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I definitely didn't. This is the reason why I asked if you watch all of it was because I watched a lot of it, but I didn't watch all of it, and I was hoping between the two of us we could fill in all the gaps of the tournament.
It's always happening when I'm working.
I definitely didn't hear you.
No, so like it's funny because so often everybody mistakes me for like when Rosie's casting, they're like, "Is that Gaijin? Is Gaijin casting?" And a piece of Rosie dies every time.
Yeah, the thing. Okay, so the monthly tournament. If you play in plus OP's weeklies and you do well, you get an invite to the monthly invitational. And the monthly invitational, unlike other tournaments, is brackets all the way up to the grand finals with double elimination with a loser's bracket, which is always a very fun format for Temtem, because I think this game is so much better in best of threes than it is in best of ones. That said, I had the rare opportunity to play in the monthly, which was a lot of fun, and I always have a Crystal Tim on my team, and I didn't even think about how important that Crystal Tim is until I removed it for an Adoraboros, and I got my face smashed in by a Nagai's because I had no answer to it. Then I had to ban it. And
you should have had a Cerny with Frond Whip. Easy win.
I did have a Cerny. He first banned my Cerny.
No.
I know, he first banned my Cerny.
Were you running Drill Vola?
So here's the other thing about that game. There was a Tim I had that was about to go into the Nagai's that would have dealt like really good neutral damage. I don't remember my whole team, but I was just like, I thought about putting Drill on it right before the tournament, and I was just like,
it's like Nagai's is so prevalent in tournaments. It just makes sense to have something with Drill in the pocket, something they wouldn't expect, so that it doesn't get banned but can still do decent damage. Like, I got a Volphy through, and I was versing in a Nagai's, and I did have Drill on my Volphy, and they were not expecting it at all.
That's so good.
And
that's so good.
It won me the game. I mean, it doesn't come in super handy because usually it might get banned, or if you're not versing a Nagai's, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. I've gotta up my Drill game.
Yeah, you do.
I think even just coming with Sapanku, just as more of the moves get added to the patch, we're just gonna see more evasion. And this, I don't think even with electrics on the horizon, I don't think Nagai's Golder is going anywhere.
No.
Such a power start.
Yeah, I mean, so like everybody keeps thinking that that there's a bunch of Tems that are going to be just completely nullified once the Ponku comes out, but it doesn't work like that. First of all, everybody's going to have to take time. They're going to try new stuff. They're going to find out what's best, what works best, how to utilize things. But like, I feel like a lot of the stuff like Nagai's and oh god, I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head, but a lot of the mentals, Koish and
okay.
Pocus and Kinu, like they're maybe not Kinu. Oh no, the digitals, yeah. But yeah, Kinu too, like, you're just going to have to play them more like mix. You just be more selective about how you're using them, when you're using them, things like that. I think because they're just so good. Like, I think they're still going to be very usable.
Yeah, Mix was actually the Tim I took off my team. I always run my Crystal Spike Mix. You just jolted my memory on it.
Crystal Spike Mix.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't do well, but that's just life. I'll be competing in the weekly this coming week, and ideally I'll have an opportunity to redeem myself. That said, Feynman and Tsubaki-chan actually had a huge run through the tournament, with the finals resulting in Feynman, also known as Workman, also known as 8-Bitten. Wait a second. It's Feynman is 8-Bitten, right? I'm not crazy.
Feynman's not 8-Bitten.
Okay, yeah, Feynman's somebody else. I just had a thought on, yeah, I was in a completely different area. Yeah, Feynman is a completely different player. And I pulled myself out of that so nobody yell at me because yeah, Workman is
everybody yell at Presby Kennedy. If you see him over the next week, just be like, "Hey, how's Feynman bitten?"
But anyways, yeah, it was Feynman versus Tsubaki-chan, and Feynman took the tournament. I actually only watched up to I think like the semifinals. I got out. The last match I saw was Funky How versus Luke Leal, with Funky How, aka the world's best Valash player, who will stand Valash until the day he dies.
I mean,
and then
can you blame him?
I can't. Valash is great. I didn't catch the quarterfinal, or rather the semifinals and the grand finals, unfortunately. So I do have to go back and watch those, or I plan on going back and watching those matches. But that's what I was hoping you could fill in the gaps for.
I cannot fill in the gaps. I was watching it; it was there, but I wasn't paying attention because I couldn't hear it because I wasn't listening. And
some commentary I do want to throw in though. Some stuff, or rather, friend of the show, Tsubaki-chan, always a great mind for competitive strategy and where it's headed. Tsubaki was running a really bulky team comp built around his Volfi, and it was incredibly interesting. What threw Tsubaki into losers, he lost a match to Doom on Volfi, which is a Tim that you think it's just completely immortal to Doom. But one of the issues with Volfi with Doom, when you run it as a bulky Tim and you're constantly lifeful sapping, the way that Bush works is it puts on rejuvenation and then it puts on evading. If it has lifeful sap and Doom,
Rejuve's already active.
And you Bush, the Rejuve doesn't activate, and the evasion puts on, the Doom moves to the right and removes the lifeful sap, and you actually can't remove the Doom and you just die. And so it's very interesting that, like, Volfi is this Temtem that you think is the perfect super tank, right? Because he deals a whole bunch of damage, has the ability to heal himself, avoids, massive AoE damage, and then has the ability to Bush and can never be doomed and killed like 100%. But when you run him as a hyper tank, or when you're lifeful sapping, he then becomes super susceptible to the Doom, which is a complete inverse on like one of the reasons why you run Volfi bulky. So I thought that was really interesting. I've seen Tsubaki run a similar strategy like this, except he built it around his Saku with Lightful Sap. And, Air Specialist Saku.
Oh, his trusty Saku. If anybody doesn't
Yeah.
know, he's the Saku king.
So I'd be very interested to see how he innovates on this. Oh, friend of the show, Tsubaki, is in chat.
Actually here. Actually
we were
in
talking
chat.
about your strategy from the monthly this past week. So yeah, definitely be interested to see if he brings that Saku back in place of the Volfi, or if the Volfi gets a little bit of workaround on it. I've had huge problems with Lifeful Sap on Volfi too, because I tried to make Burglar Volfi work, but if Burglar Volfi targets itself, gosh, I forget how this interaction works, but it's if somebody else exhausts Burglar Volfi and it targets itself with Lifeful Sap, it actually steals its own item. It's a very weird interaction between Burglar and moves that self-target with Volfi. And if you have exhaust, it's very dangerous to do anything with that. So I hope that kind of also gets built up. I see somebody in chat ask, can it plague itself? Unfortunately, it cannot. But yeah, that was the monthly, and it was a fun tournament to watch. So I can't wait till I actually earn my place in one of those and not just get slid in at the last second. The next tournament we had on our list to talk about was the Joust. You and I talked about this one a little bit beforehand. You actually had the opportunity to compete in this, Gaijin. I know you said you didn't know much about it, but if you want to talk about your experience, I can kind of read through the rule set on my own. Because I watched this a little bit, but I wasn't paying like close attention to it.
Yeah, so basically it was Joust is set up as at least this one was set up as a 3v3. Each team had 3 members. So for my team it was me, Sweetie Poo, and Wildfella.
Yeah, Danzo Shimuru.
That's right, Danzo Shimura. And the foundation went into this as the TMR donors. And it was really interesting. So basically, you have a team of 3 people and you verse another team with 3 people, and everybody versus somebody, and it's best of 3 between the teams. So if we went 1 and 2, and then we went 2 and 1, and then we went 2 and 1 again. So we ended up coming in 6th in the Joust, but it was actually really fun because you have to build your team around 2 specific elements. So, for example, my team was wind and toxic. Yeah, wind and toxic.
Hey, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I kept noticing teams with triple typings on them. And I was like, what is going on? Is there a new meta? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, no.
Puts everything into perspective.
Yeah, so each team, each person's team had to revolve around 2 types. And I think the entire team itself had to have a similar core, like one of the same elements or something. I'm not 100% on that one though, but it was really cool. It was interesting because I think it evens the playing field a little bit. For example, I mean, I'm a 900 TMR player. Like, I just barely cracked over 900 TMR again. I mean, I've hit 1200, but I'm definitely not a 1200 TMR player. And I was up against Johnny Vinsmoke in my first match, and he's a 1500 or 1400 TMR
and you kicked
player.
Butt. Didn't you tell me you won?
And I did beat Johnny Vinsmoke in our match. And Sweetie Poo beat Neko Blocky in our match against their team. So, it was really cool just because, I think it evens the playing field a little bit.
Okay.
But really, the only reason...
You learned the typing.
I think the only reason I won is I think my team was a really bad matchup for Johnny Vinsmoke because his team was all physical attackers. It was neutral types, and I think it was neutral mental. And where my team was toxic and wind, I had Mashuk and Lawali and because you can choose one type from either of the elements. They don't have to be mixed elements or whatever. But so I had, and both of those had tenderness, and all of his attackers were physical attackers. So I basically made it so that he couldn't do any damage at all.
Nice. Hey, tenderness saves lives. Okay, and is she running these jousts every single weekend?
No, I think it's like every 3 weekends or something like that.
Yeah, this would be
and
really
right
fun to
now
compete in.
we're waiting until after Sapanku launches and people kind of figure stuff out. I think is the next Joust, and this is run by Saber_Twitch TV. So you guys can go check out the Joust VODs there if you want. They don't broadcast all the matches. Of course, they broadcasted one where I lost, so that was neat.
Isn't that always fun?
Like, I won 2 in a row.
In the one match,
I won 2 in a row, and then the one that they watch is the one I've lost.
Yeah, like I remember I was playing in the monthly this past week, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get my face stomped in here, and Plus always like spectates the matches that I do the worst in, and
it never fails.
He didn't spectate me, luckily, but as like the tournament's getting started, y'all popped into chat and was like hanging out and watching the tournament, and I was like, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the end of my Temtem life. My Temtem career is done. Plus, is gonna be like, how about we spectate Kennedy? Kennedy's getting his face rolled by a Nagais because he doesn't have a crystal type, and he didn't ban it because he thought he's or just. But fortunately, my worst nightmares didn't come true. So.
Yeah, here we are, 6th place, the TMR donors.
Oh yeah, let's finish covering Joust. The team that won this was Don't Ban Gazuma, and I don't know who was on this team.
Oh man, so this is Neko. This is exotic
Blackie,
French.
Turbo and Setska.
Yeah, Setska.
What a powerhouse of a team.
Setska absolutely destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. Setska had, I didn't ban the Gazuma, and I didn't ban. I don't know how I missed it.
Well, I mean, their team is Don't Ban the Gazuma, so
right. They had a Grumper, and I don't know how I didn't see it, or I thought Lawali could deal with it, or Mashuk, and my Mashuk did more than 50% damage, but then they swapped it out, and then they were brought it back in when it was safe, and they ended up sparksing it and turboing it, and it was destruction. My whole team had was wind at the time a little bit.
I think I looked over at the side of the screen and saw one of these matches happening. That Grumper wasn't running chamomile, was it?
No, it was not running chamomile.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was like, who runs a Grumper without chamomile these days?
It was
weird.
it steamrolled my entire team. It was all over as soon as that thing got sparked, and I think they sparked it twice. I didn't kill. I spent too much time not killing that stupid Genki. Gazuma.
Racer in chat said it was a really speedy
It
Grumper.
was so fast already.
There's this meme I love with Jeb Bush in it. It's just 100% Jeb as he's like absorbing the energies of the universe. I imagine seeing Speedy Grumper. Rarzy was just like, it's happening.
Speedy max speed max attack Grumper.
Yeah, Rarzy was pushing Speedy Grumper build 3 months ago.
I mean,
saying it's the thing,
and it makes a lot of sense. It works really well, especially because nobody
in a format like this where you're running a triple comp of something. Yeah. Where you're basically playing around just your team's specific weakness. That'd be really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the Joust, and I think we had one more thing under our community events. Oh yeah. Before we go on to the AMA with
the Asylum thing,
Damien. Yes, let's talk about the Asylum Cup. So apparently this coming weekend, as of listening to this on March 22nd, Asylum is going to be streaming their Top Cut Rosie, if you're still listening, if you could put in the date and time, I'd love to put it on the podcast for people. And it looks like they've been doing I don't know if this is an internal tournament or a just something they've been running, but it looks like they have a whole league going on right now.
Yeah, it's
The
an
matches that are
internal
going to be
only.
streamed. Okay, yeah. It's an internal tournament, and it's going to be RG Isosceles versus Pixel, Scutezi versus Coenders, Sebastian versus Scoot or Coeasy, and I think that depends on the other match, and then Onti versus RG Isosceles or Pixels, obviously depending on the other match for the semifinals, and then the finals. Literally anyone, it's Gaijin Buu versus literally anyone, Presby Kennedy, for all competing for a prize pool of 1,200,200 Pansuns. Looking at this internal league,
1,200,000.
yeah, that's what I said.
For some reason,
1,200,200 Pansuns.
I felt like you said 1,200. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
1,200 200 Pansuns. For a total of 1,400 Pansuns.
What a tournament.
Yeah. It looks like this league's been going on for a little while. I want to say shout out friend of the show, RG Isosceles, going 6-3 in their
What a
internal
beast.
tournament.
What a beast.
Sebastian, I have not had the opportunity to interact or meet this player yet, but
Onti
also
went
6-3. Yeah, and OT 6-3.
And Daddy Spleen going 4-6. I was reading the wrong thing for a second, but Daddy Spleen going 4-6, and we've got Coenders going 5-5.
Wow! Look at Scutezi here, 5-1. Oh, but 3 DNFs. That's so unfortunate.
Interesting.
That's so unfortunate. That could be like a easy what?
Yeah.
8-1.
Verzi is saying Onti. I've heard a lot about Onti. And Verzi's saying he's their new god tier player. Asylum is looking out to be a absolute force to be reckoned with. There's so many good players in here, it's not even fair.
I still enjoy Temtem, but I think I'm gonna find like a whole new wave of love for this game once they get like the internal tournaments and like the internal club PvP stuff happening not internal, in game club PvP and stuff to just kind of like,
and
it just makes me so excited, all of the players that we have and just the ability to have leagues of players in comparable ways with one another, or who knows, maybe a leaderboard for ranked someday.
That would be nice. I'm sure it's going to come.
All right. So, did Rarzy put the time this is going? It will be. So, anybody who wants to. Oh, do you want to read it out, Gaijin?
It will likely be Saturday the 28th or Sunday the 29th. It isn't scheduled yet, but it'll be 9 or 10 a.m. UTC. And Rosie, what channel will this be streamed on? Is it going to be streamed? It's going to be streamed, right?
Yes, there is a thing on here that says games to be streamed.
Oh,
probably this weekend shrugs. So probably Rosie's channel.
Okay, it will be on Rosie's channel. So twitch.tv/RAWRZYYY. That's 3 Y's, roar Z, or Rarzy, whatever.
All right. Do you want to tackle this AMA next?
Let's see.
I mean, it's our last bit of news, our last community event.
Did you had picked out a couple of things, right?
I did. I picked out 3, and if there were any that interest you, definitely feel free to bring them up. A couple weeks ago, Crema, one of the Crema devs, Damien Sanchez, did
He's
a
not
AMA.
a dev. He's the music composer, audio creator.
Yeah, he develops the music in game.
He creates the music. He doesn't develop. He creates. He's a creator.
He designs. To me, his work on this game is just as important to the people who code this attack does this thing, because like the atmosphere of the game and the whole vibe you get while you're playing and going through it, to me it's just as important as the gameplay.
So I'm gonna read over his post real quick, just so everybody can see his
Okay.
original post while we go and pick out a couple of those ones that you already picked out. I'll look for one or two. Hello. I am Damien Sanchez, music composer and audio creator. I compose the music for games like Immortal Redneck and Rise and Shine, and I'm currently working on Temtem. Ask me anything. Hi Reddit, I'm Damien Sanchez, and I'm the audio creator. I'm the audio director at Crema Games, and you might also have heard my music on other games, Immortal Redneck and Rise and Shine. I'm currently working on the massively online creature taming adventure, Temtem. Here's proof. My main work at Crema is composing and producing the music for our projects, from the sketches to the mastered soundtrack file. I love recording most of the live instruments in my booth, but I also like managing recording sessions with musicians, both online and at recording studios all around the world. Along with that, I'm in charge of the general audio needs like implementation, bug smashing. He does do bug smashing. Game mixing, performance optimization, and giving support to any needs our sound designer may have. I also manage the publishing of our soundtracks and any and every music-related product. When I'm not creating Temtem bangers, I do music for performing arts, mostly plays for children, and I have also premiered big projects in the main theaters of my city, the sunny and Mediterranean Valencia. I also have some EDM beats in the works, along with a YouTube channel with music, composing, production, game audio content. You can check all of my music on Spotify and follow my day-to-day in my Twitter. Ask me anything.
All right. Yes, thank you for reading that. And this was a big post, so we're not going to be able to cover everything on today's episode. So I picked out some things that were really interesting to me and related to Temtem. So obviously, our audience would get some enjoyment out of these. I linked the direct posts in the document gaijin, so you should be able to click them, but otherwise you can just scroll down to them. The first comment I picked out, which was really cool. I think I can read the comment and kind of explain why I thought it was interesting. Then you can read Damien's response with your lovely reading voices. The first comment comes from, our question comes from Malleus94, who said, when you composed the battle track for Temtem, how did you manage the fact that this would have been repeated through the whole game and not become boring or annoying? I, as a person, I listen to a lot of the Pokemon battle tracks on repeat while I just vibe out through my day. So I didn't even kind of think of just like, man, it does have to be like that repeatable loop that just kind of feels fluid and going on, and which is very different from like Blinding Lights or something from the weekend, which I also listen to a lot. And Damien had some really cool insight as to like what influences him on this.
So, battle tracks were and are by far the pieces I'm most worried about. We did lots of iterations until we reached the current Wild Temtem music. It had to be something iconic, but not so much prominent to avoid, as you said, ear fatigue or being boring. I think we really achieved that with most of the combats, although we are aware there are some concerns about the tamer combat repetition. It's a delicate matter because finding the sweet spot is quite hard, and I'm not 100% sure adding more alternate themes will reach a consensus among the players. I'm sure most would ask to have the original all along the adventure, while others would be happy with the change. Having said this, I'm working on giving some variation to the tamer battle music, which is the one the game forces you to hear the most. You'll have a first iteration soon, which consists in inserting some IO-flavored parts in the original track. And if time permits, I'll probably iterate it further to add more freshness while you advance in the adventure.
Yeah, and to me, that's just really cool that the audio for the game, which I think is one of Temtem's best features. There's a lot of, great features, but I really enjoy the soundtrack. But the audio is going to get more updates to it, and we're gonna get more battle tracks. So based on the area.
That is correct. Yeah, I think that's really cool to have like Isle themed, or Isle themed variations. That's
Yeah.
really cool, because I think what this next person says is pretty good. One of the things that Temtem focuses on so well is a sense of locale and place for each area. Something people has often lacked in, and games have often lacked in, I think, is what they meant. But this is a brilliant inclusion to the track, so I'm excited to hear it coming from someone who has heard the song so much that I had to turn off audio. Me.
No, see, this is the thing. Rarzi said this in chat too, that they muted audio and they didn't hear anything in Kisawa. Like, that's doing your ears a disservice, because those drums slap.
Yeah, the Kasiwan music is really good. I mean, I played through the entire story with the sound on just because I wanted to hear it. Like, I think the music in the game is just so good. Whiplump made me do it.
Whiplump made me do it.
That's fair. That's fair. Free temming is just whiplumps are forever stuck in people's heads. Forever.
Yeah, but I was saying, for me, I still actually play with the in-game music on, and the Temtem battle track is kind of burned into my memory, so I would like more variation on it. I would love to hear just like a mix of the battle track with the Uharu music like together. That would be
a mix of the battle track with Whiplump crying.
I don't. You know what? I actually don't know the sound Whiplump makes when it's knocked out. I can hear the sound.
Well, no,
of
like
being
just the cry. Well, that's what it's called when it comes out and it makes that noise. That's a Temtem cry. Like,
fair. Okay.
Not actually crying.
Yeah, I was to say, I don't want to hear weeping whiplumps. Oh gosh, dibs on that as a band name. Weeping whiplumps. It's so metal. Anyways, let's go into the next comment. Our next comment comes from Aureliex. Our next set of questions comes from Aureliex. Aureliex says, "Hello, Damon. Damien, firstly, I just want to get a chance to really say I absolutely love the soundtrack you've created for Temtem. I really wish that one day we could get a hold of the entire soundtrack one day. Are there any plans for the future to release an official soundtrack of Temtem for everyone to enjoy? While we're talking about the soundtrack of Temtem, what are your opinions of people that have ripped the soundtrack of Temtem and put them on YouTube? And lastly, which track that you have created for Temtem so far would you say is among your favorite, either because you are really proud of the work behind it or because of how it sounds? Thanks for all the amazing work you put into making the soundtrack so far, and I'm looking forward to all the other tracks that we get to hear in game as the game gets updated more and more." For me, one of the reasons why I picked this one out is because, as I said, I'm very guilty of going on YouTube, right-clicking and putting a video on loop and just listening to it over and over and over again, like I did with Lady Lottie's theme, as I do like things in the background. And I didn't even think, like, for my brain, it's just like, yo, I like this music, I'm gonna go find it, it's on YouTube. But also, yeah, Crema didn't upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, they're not official uploads. And are people monetizing those videos? Because that's not cool.
I don't know, but Damien actually kind of goes and talks about it.
Damien's response: I'm happy you brought this matter up. Yes, Temtem soundtrack will be released at some point close to the 1.0 game launch. As you may know, some of the backers will have a digital copy of it as part of their reward, but it will be available for everyone else also, in formats yet to be decided. On the RIP soundtrack, I know, and I'm really happy about it, that people is really excited about Temtem and any related content. But in this particular case, as we are in early access, and as I mentioned in another answer, I'm constantly updating / improving the tracks. The 100% of the shared music is not finished. Even some of our officially shared tracks got outdated. So I personally recommend being patient and not sharing unfinished content. The best way to enjoy the soundtrack now is playing Temtem, and if you've already cleared the content, you can always go to any place in the archipelago and let the game play tunes in the background.
Yeah.
That is why I always sit in the cosmetics store. Just for that funky bop. Funky bop.
Yeah. For yeah, I agree. I was just caught off guard real quick by the Discord. Um, but yeah, for this one, listening to the music on YouTube is one thing really exciting. We're gonna get a full soundtrack release eventually. But the thing here that I wanted to definitely point at was that we are going to have the opportunity to have all the tracks that we love currently updated, or well, not currently, but eventually updated as needed. So I would say to everybody who's really looking for some vibes on YouTube, just listen to the Pigapack Bridge. Like, it's the only bop we really need in our hearts right now.
Koishin says Sipanku yet? Sipanku soon. Sipanku soon. Sipunk soon. We're looking end of March, so we're like right there, early April. So you know, maybe if we're lucky, April 1st, it'll be the best April Fool's gift we've ever gotten.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get the last one that I picked out here, and then we can end up for the day. Or if there's anything you want to discuss, we definitely can. The last question that came that popped up on my radar as I was reading through this was came from Yami Mod, and it said, "Hey Damien."
Yami, shout out to Yami.
Sorry, a bit late question. If you could change one thing in your job, what would it be? This is the fantasy that we all have. If we could edit anything about our jobs, how would we do it?
And Damien says, probably imposter syndrome. But I think all creators in any area are subject to this. I'd say most people in their daily jobs, life, are subject to this. That's it. Probably that fear to not be doing the best you can, even though you are actually doing it. That's something in the works. I've done great improvements on that so far, and Temtem fans have helped a lot. Good old imposter syndrome.
Yep. And
we all suffer from this so badly.
Anybody in the Temtalk community knows I have anxiety, and I feel like a fraud of a Temtem content creator. And I've been creating Temtem content since, you know, the second month this game was out.
Just being alive. and living your daily life.
Syndrome.
Everybody experiences this. You're always worried that you're not doing the best that you can. You're not putting in the most effort you should be. And I know for a fact it's true. For me.
Yeah, I don't know. And I would say maybe, but not really. Like the fact that people at such different areas of the game, you know, someone who works for Crema is a higher, you know, sound. I forgot his title, but I just say developer of
music composer, and audio creator.
Yeah,
he's the audio director.
Feels imposter syndrome in his position. Should tell all of the rest of us that, you know, we're fine. Just
try
enjoy
harder.
The game, have fun,
do better.
Enjoy your hobbies, enjoy your job. Just do what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, everybody's going to experience it, and you know, you're right. You know, you can always improve.
That's all I had planned for tonight. I know it is my turn for the
main topic, if we have one. There's no main topic tonight.
Well, the main topic was the AMA, and
was it? Because it says if we have one.
It was. So I do have something I wanted to share for the turn 30, but it's on the other side of the room.
Well,
and I know I'm not wearing wireless headphones right now because they're charging.
So turn the headphones, take them off for a second, and walk away.
I'm gonna take them off, and I'm going to let you do the closing plugs for you and the channel, and then I'll come back and do mine, and then we can do turn 30. Okay. I will be right back.
Presby Kennedy, you didn't answer my question earlier. Will you allow us to coach you during your next weekly performance? I'm sure I'm sure he will. I'm 100% sure he will. And if he doesn't say yes, then I will do exactly that. I'll pressure him into it, Rosie. Easy. Easy peasy. You know, gotta make him do it. He's been pushing off getting into competitive for so long. Like, you know, he's got the whole fear of failing thing going on. But he stepped out there.
Are you plugging my stream?
No, I wasn't.
Okay,
Rosie said, you didn't answer our question early. My question earlier, will you allow us to coach you during your next weekly performance? And I said, yeah, he's going to. He'll let you.
Oh, sure.
Join
I
the Asylum Discord, and then they'll coach you.
Here's the thing about the weekly tournaments. One of my favorite things about Enigma, and this is why I will preach to anybody get into a club. Unfortunately, Enigma's not like super active right now. When we would have tournaments, like it would be like 8 or so people, and we would just kind of hang out in Discord and keep each other calm and just chit chat as our matches were going on and in between our matches, which really helped with my tournament nerves. I tried to get Vonlin to do that for me for the longest, where every time I entered a tournament, I just like, yo, will you just sit in a Discord call and like hang out with me while I like compete and stuff? And he did for a few, but I felt like I was being a bother, and it just hasn't, it wasn't something that like ever stuck. I welcome what's the word? Company. I welcome company while I compete, because it's really helpful to have people to just say, hey, get out of your head, don't tilt. Hey, get out of your head, don't tilt. Yeah, you lost this one Temtem, but the match isn't over yet. Like, get out of your head, don't tilt. And I have a bad habit of like, I set up. I'm somebody who progresses my own strategy rather than foiling my opponents, which I need to get better at doing both. And when my strategy gets foiled, I'm just like, well, flip, now what do I do? And I kind of like, I kind of lose control of the match. When I have tempo, I'm great. When I don't have tempo, we're not going to talk about that. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I would very much welcome coaching or just a friend. I like both.
Aw, so darn cute. Yeah, no, I mean, I remember when you guys used to sit in voice calls all the time, and Vonlin just, he didn't like competitive nearly as much as you did at the time. I think he was only doing it because you were, but now that I'm in competitive, I can be your friend. I mean, I'm always your friend, but
if I'm not chilling with Rarzi for the weekly, I will definitely pop you a message. I already well, I haven't told my guild, but I took it off of my calendar. I'm not raiding this week, and I didn't raid last week because I want to start entering into more tournaments. Like, I don't want to do ladder yet because ladder stresses me out, but tournaments are legitimately fun for me in the after experience. When I think back on like the everything, like I was like, man, that was really enjoyable. I got my face wrecked by Naga, but it was still really fun. So last Friday I didn't enter into a tournament. Into a raid. This next Friday I'm not raiding because I'm going to enter into a tournament. And the only tournament I know that happens consistently is pluses. So wait, am I not in your server? I'm pretty sure I'm in Asylum. I'm in like 17 Temtem Discords. I am not in Asylum. If you pop me a message, I'll be in 18. So there we go. Yeah, I'm in PDX's Discord.
I will say that they've helped me. They have done some coaching for me during some stuff, and they're always super helpful. And you know, this is why I love Asylum. You know, Verzi is just such a wholesome guy. He's so friendly and so helpful to everybody and anybody. He helped me put my Doom comp team together, and it's really nice. Just Asylum, I gotta say, Asylum is probably my favorite competitive club. And I expect to see.
You run a competitive club?
See. All right, my favorite competitive club.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
And just, you know, I expect huge things from Asylum coming up here. they're gonna do good. Eventually, the Foundation is gonna destroy Asylum peacefully.
Soon. Oh, okay. I see this document X6 sent, and we can cover this next Temtalk. I'm gonna put it in the notes just so it copies over when I make the next week one. It looks like a guide for dojos. Okay, so did you plug yourself already, Gaijin?
It looks like a guide for dojos. Did you look at it? It's a
Temtem
Quetzaleno
free.
guide.
Oh, it's a Quetz. I just saw.
It's a guide on Quetzal competitive composition.
Yeah, I ran something similar to this past weekend. I had Riken, Koish, Skunch, Moflank on a team, Kinu, and I think Adora Boros. And there's one more Temtem I'm missing that was on my team, but I don't remember what it was. Were you able to plug yourself, Gaijin, so I can go and then we can hit the turn 30?
Oh, yeah. Twitch.tv/It's Gaijin Boo. ITSGAIJINBUU. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, basically wherever except Facebook. Same username, It's Gaijin Boo. That's me. I play Temtem and Sea of Thieves.
Okay, and for myself...
What is this, Rosie?
Yeah, I'm looking at this. It looks like a link to the calendars. I'm going to do this right at the end. For myself, I make D&D content on my Twitch channel. It's called it's twitch.tv/PresbyKennedy. And we live stream the show every Monday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/temtalkshow. If you ever have any questions you want answered on the show, or you want to reach out to us, you can reach either of us on Discord at our usernames, or you can email the show at temtalkshow@gmail.com. Again, that's temtalkshow@gmail.com. The last little bit I want to put on the that I want to say is apparently Tsubaki has a tournament coming up this coming Saturday, which would be Sunday the 28th. Sunday the 28th, it looks like Tsubaki has a tournament, and I will put the link in the show notes. All right.
We were just shared an amazing link, by the way, from Rosie shared it. It is it's called Tortonite's Garden, and it has a calendar for competitive events. It's got a competitive leaderboard that is created and maintained by Silent Kami. Shout out to Silent Kami. Temtem price guides, a tier list. This is absolutely insane. Holy moly, so much work has gone into this. It is Tortonites, TORTENITES overscore. I don't know. The line that's up in the air, not on the bottom. It's not underscore, it's overscore, I think. Garden.com. Incredible.
Just -garden.com.
Yeah. Okay, dash
garden.
Whatever. Dash overscore.
I'm going to put this on the show notes. We definitely need to cover this next week too, when I have more time to flip through it.
That thing is crazy.
Yeah, so we'll do the Quetzalino guide and the Tortonites Garden guide. Oh, you guys are making content for us, and then by then, Sipangu will be out.
Sipangu.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, turn 30. Let's go.
Turn 30. You might not know this about me, but I am a super huge Avatar, the Last Airbender. Avatar franchise fan. I read the comics. I watch.
Wait, they aren't blue. I thought they had blue weird tails and stuff.
Wait, are you talking about the comics?
Yeah, I thought the movie Avatar was based off the comics.
No, you shut up. You shut your dirty horror mouth, Gaijin.
The James Cameron Avatar movies, they're coming out with 3 more to cover the rest of the comics, right?
The Legend of Korra franchise. So anyways, they are for anyone who's a fan of Avatar, they are actually still making really high quality content for the franchise. The next storyline of comics is coming out soon, and I think it's called Shadows of the Empire. And obviously you can go and find it on Amazon and stuff. But I love this franchise to death, and I am developing a tabletop RPG with for the Avatar world that I'm releasing completely for free on my Patreon.
Dibs on the Fire Nation.
Yeah, I actually the idea that inspired it was I love pro bending and I want to play pro bending as a video game, and I was like, well, I can't make a video game, but I know tabletop gaming, and then it expanded out from like that idea of like how would pro bending work as like a combat system. So if anybody is interested and likes tabletop role playing games, definitely it's completely free. I'm not shilling Patreon. It's just a platform of which I can upload documents and people can download them. And I'm going to, as soon as I get like the core rule book of it finished, I've like put all the ideas of the nations and stuff up there, but it will be coming out and I'm releasing stuff as I develop it.
So
but,
this is going to be like the cones of
Kennedy.
It's going to be like the cones of Dunshire, I bet, huh?
Oh, if only. Like, so I spent like 3 weeks working on the base idea of the system and then coming up with all of the combat styles for how you would pick your bending and like the martial arts style to match. And I can talk about Avatar forever, so I'm just gonna say this and then we can go into the post show. The really cool thing about Korra is that they have elemental bending, but because of how the world has progressed and the different nations have intermingled, different elements fight with different styles. So like Bolin is an earthbender, but in a lot of the techniques he uses airbending techniques in his martial arts style. And so Korra is a primarily water bender, but fire is the element that resonates with her. So in all of her fighting styles, she uses primarily like fire martial arts techniques as she's bending with the other elements. So like when I made the system, I wanted to separate the martial arts from the element, and you could have your element and then build your character like to the style you want. And all of the thought that I put into it, I went and then researched it after I like made the system, and it's just amazing visually how well they translated on screen to what they were trying to portray. And I was like, wow, I didn't even have to research it because visually they did such a good job in the franchise of communicating like how all of these things flow. Anyways, let's talk about it in the post show. Let's get out of here for now. Go ahead and end us up, and then
all right, we will
see you next week.
Do the ending. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot to. I swear I pressed record, but I guess I didn't. So I'll have to pull it off of Twitch again. But
okay.
Yeah. just in case anyone who watches this is wondering if anything's kind of weird, I had to download it because I forgot to press record. So here we go, folks. We're doing the ending.